Cody, now that is a way to return to the octagon. Now you've had a few moments to digest the performance you just put on. Where's your emotions at right now?
I feel great. It's been a long journey to get back to the win column. I went from 12-0 world champion at 25 years old and a 3-fight skid, you know what I mean? And that sometimes happens in life. You go through those growing periods, and that's what it was, a growing, learning period. I kept motivated, I kept driven. Just kept having to pick myself up from the ground zero and build myself back up mentally, physically, and emotionally. And my passion and love is here for the sport to stay, and that's it. I'm excited to be back.
Absolutely. We could see that change in you. You started fast but patient. It looked like, all the things you told us this fight week were put to play there. But then the finish, right on the buzzer, you took that big dip. Talk us through what was going through your mind, because your eyes didn't deviate from Rafael at that point.
Yeah, I felt great. All week, Coach Mark and my other coaches were saying, hey, the inside shots, that's a lot of your knockouts come from the inside shots. So, roll dip. And that's what we worked on all camp, just getting back to myself, not being in front of someone. I got the speed, I got the power, I got the vision. Don't let these guys, I don't need to stand in front of these guys and brawl and put on a show. I can pick them apart just like that. I stayed calm. I waited for a sun sal to open up. I was doing level changes, doing what I needed to do in our game plan with my coaches to get that victory. And it feels so good to just be so in sync with the coaches and to finally get that victory over a tough adversary.
Having had all this time off now, have you thought about how soon you'd like to get back in there?
I heard that they're going to Fight Island, and there's only one name that I want to fight in Fight Island. That's Peter Yan. So Dana, I'm healthy, I'm ready. I want this strap back. I want this world championship back. It's vacant for a reason, and that's my destiny to get it back. So I'll go through whoever they need me to go through, but it's inevitable that it's mine.
So do you feel you're going to need to fight a fight or two more with obviously Aldo and Yan lined up, and then Aljamain possibly guaranteed that next shot? Is it maybe 1-2 more fights? What do you think?
Let's do a tournament. Let's do a bantamweight tournament. Let's get us in there. Let's go to Fight Island for a few months. Go get quarantined out there and just bring our coaches, bring enough trifecta food to eat. A little plug right there. But and let's go to war. Let's get this battle. Let's get this tournament, and let's see who the real champion is. Let's go back to the old school days.
And last question from me: with having Mark Henry there as well as your Team Alpha Male team, what felt different about tonight in terms of the coaching combination that you had?
You know what? I'm so thankful and so blessed to have those men in my corner, Chris Holdsworth, Mike Malott, and Coach Mark Henry for tonight. As far as my training partners and coaches in Jersey and in Sacramento, it's been a long time, coming, and they've stuck with me. They believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself or didn't have the hunger that you needed to. In this sport, you have to be hungry. You have to be a killer. You have to keep it on. You got poor kids coming from up all over the world to have a dream to lace these UFC gloves on, and I got back to the smallest points of things, getting free Reebok gear, getting picked up from the hotel, the smallest things you don't really think about. Like, I was so excited to be here, fight week. I know I didn't get to see my family, my son. I was missing my son. Obviously, we're going through a global pandemic, but the focus was there, the passion's there, and having those guys in my corner through it all has been amazing. Just very thankful for them, the sacrifices they put in, time away from their family, time away from what they love to do, to spend a week in Renaissance Inn, quarantine, getting COVID tests shoved down their throats. You know what I mean? Like, hey, those guys I would love to have in my foxhole every single time I go to war.
Sounds like it was worth it. Great to have you back.
Thanks, Caroline.
Cody, you said all the right things along the way, man, and you were always professional. But during this stretch, was there ever a time that even you started to doubt yourself and think, maybe I'm not that guy anymore?
You know what? That's one thing that I was blessed with, man. I never doubted myself. I didn't have that fire. I didn't have that hunger to go in there every day and I felt like I was just clocking in. It was a job. Fighting was, when I had nothing, I had fighting. I always had fighting. Even when I was trying to be away from fighting, run away, crawl away, I always got sucked back into fighting. And this is my true destiny, is to be the best fighter. This is what God has blessed me with, the abilities, the speed, the power. the never giving up, I mean, there's so many people in this life that get knocked down and they stay down and they don't get up. I was freaking on top of the world. I was 25 years old, world champion, defending one of the greatest bantamweights in the world from a 3-fight skid. You know how hard that was to get up and do that? You know what I mean? But I have people that watch me. I have people that look up to me. I have a son that I want to show that the work ethic, and no matter times you fail at life, you got to learn and grow and just pick yourself up and keep marching forward. So I want everyone to just be motivated by what I was able to do, and just, and that's what I hope to do for the rest of my career. Is no matter how many times I win or lose or how many titles I win, but at the end of the day, man, I just never give up. No matter what you're going through in life, it's a hard world. It's not a fair world, and it's a crazy world we live in. You just got to keep a goal, keep driven, and keep your desire to be the best.
We saw a little bit of the showboating that we've come to love from you. Was there a moment in there where you felt comfortable and said, okay, I can have a little fun in here?
Yeah, man, I just love to fight, and when I'm on like that, I like to have a little bit of, showmanship. But as Untitled, we had a couple conversations inside there. He kept throwing that wheel kick, and I was like, man, that's like the 4th time you threw that, bro. Like, he's like, I'm gonna keep throwing it. And I'm like, all right, I'll keep dodging that shit. Hopefully, it don't get me with one. But hit him a couple times hard. I knew he was hurt, and I was like, oh, that one hurt him. I yelled at the coach. I was like, oh, he's hurt. Like, let me just slow it down a little bit, And he chatted back, oh, it's going to take more than that. I'm like, all right, he's game. He's a game dude, you know what I mean? And it shows for a reason. He's been here since the WEC days. He's been top 5 for however long, decades. And he's a hard dude to finish. Hasn't been knocked out in, 10 years, So I'm happy with my performance, and just excited to just keep it building from there.
Last thing for me, settle the debate. Who had the better one-punch KO tonight? Was it you or Sean O'Malley?
Bro, come on. Dana White, give me that 50K.
You got the 50K.
Oh, hey, thank you, Dana. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Cody back here. Jim Griesheimer, cage side seat. Hey, I just wanted to say congratulations, but I want to ask you about a night that the bantamweight division shined maybe like never before. In one night, right? Former champ comes back with an emphatic statement. What are your thoughts on the state of the division right now? Where do you see yourself? And how long do you think before you're ready to take that shot and maybe put that gold back around your waist?
Man, I just watching the bantamweight get so much hype, and not even hype, but just recognition on the night. I'm just excited, man. There's gonna be so many potential bouts that I can have, so many potential knockout performance bonuses that I'm going to get in my bank from all these guys. They come out and show up. I'm excited for the bantamweight division. It's the best division in the UFC. We have some killers. It's a shark tank. I mean, you got Dominic Cruz in there. You got Uriah Faber still, doing what he wants to do. I mean, you have so many guys that are. It's a shark tank division. You know what I mean? They're talented. They're fast. They're strong, and I'm just excited to get back to the top and get my title back and come one, come all.
How is it different, the feeling you have right now? And I've interviewed you a lot over the years as you were coming up, that hunger that you had. How is it different right now trying to reclaim that spot from when you were trying to claim it to begin with?
Yeah, I knew, having a heart-to-heart with myself for the past few years, I knew I trailblazed the path and become a world champion. 25 years old. I fought everybody they put in front of me, knockout artists, undefeated killers in there. Whoever they had me fight, I ran through them. Outclassed Dominic Cruz in one of the best, title fights there was. And, I lost that hunger a little bit. I really lost that hunger. And I wasn't able to really manifest or, have visions or dreams. So I was focused on, getting healthy and overcoming my injuries. And that was the hardest part, man. Injuries are such a sucky part of this sport, man. It really is. If I could, just say that, the injuries was a hard thing to overcome. It was harder than getting the world championship, but I battled through those. I kept strong. I did everything I needed to do. My coach, Michael Malott, he's like, bro, all camp, he's like, you're that fucking 23-year-old kid with a chip on his shoulder. Like, you just walk around with the confidence again. I was like, damn, man. And I kind of feel like that again. I'm 28 now. I got a child. I got some gray hairs in my beard. But I still feel like that young kid with that's hungry, and that's what you saw tonight. It's just a man with a dream and a fire that burns inside.
On Thursday, you talked to us about how you've worked through some demons, and we could see that because when you first came out, you were like super aggressive, always had to be angry and in your opponent's face. And ever since you've been a father, we've seen a different Cody. What else contributes to that besides the gray hairs and everything else?
I'll have a few gray hairs, but yeah, definitely. It was trying to be something I wasn't. You know what I mean? I'm a savage in there naturally. I'm a savage person. When I can flip the switch, I don't have to get myself pumped up to fight. And that's what I was having to do. I was having to fake the funk. I had to fake the funk in there. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck, I got to fight. Damn it. You know what I mean? Like, I never want to do that. And I just got back to the love. Just honestly, man, Chris Holdsworth is always, he used to have it blasted all over his vision board and always would, hashtag it, hard work pays off. And that's the simplest, truest statement you can have in this sport, in this life. Hard work will always pay off. So you just have to work, and keep working and continue to work. No matter how many times you get knocked down, you got to pick yourself up and just keep clawing forward. That's what I'm doing right now. Just back to the hard work. Let the coaches, I got it out my own ways. Let the coaches kind of just take ropes and just go with them.
You mentioned post-fight that it's hard to look good against Rafael Sunsao, and it is, but you did. Is the takeaway from this camp and from this fight going forward that if you just stay patient, that these results are going to be inevitable if you trust the process? Is that the new Cody?
Oh, yeah, Cody 2.0. You know what I mean? I like talking about myself in third person, but he's here. Cody 2.0 is here to stay. And we're just going to keep evolving and keep growing. And Lord willingly, I'll stay healthy and I'll just, do what he asked me to do in this life and just keep getting these fights and, doing the right things, becoming a better fighter, a better human being. And that's, throughout my whole life. But I'm just so thankful to have the guys I have in my corner from East Coast to West Coast. And I'm just excited and just super thankful to be here, to be able to speak with you guys. I mean, I never really took it for granted, but when you don't have the post-fight victories or the post-fight celebrations or the media, man, you go home to an empty hotel and you're banged up, you're bruised up, and you pick yourself up and kind of go from there. So it's been, since 2016, I was able to sit in front of you guys and really spill out my heart and passion and love for the sport that saved my life and saved so many and helped out me through so many dark times in my life. So I'm fortunate to be here and sit in front of your presence.
And one more for me, I want to talk about the finishing sequence. You talked about how that was part of the game plan. That was very evident because doing that duck like you did, it's actually kind of risky because if he comes up with a knee, that could be the end for you. But you mitigated the risk by setting that up throughout and making him bite on that feint. And once he did, how hard was it to stay patient and not pull the trigger on that haymaker until you saw the opportunity?
Yeah, it was Coach. He was kind of having a little battle with me in there. He's, kept telling me to move, keep moving, don't be brawling. And I kept hearing that, and I was like, oh shoot, I must be not moving. So keep with the feints. Malotwa and Chris, all them guys were telling me to keep feinting. And I noticed early on in the first round, as I got my back towards the wall, that's when he kind of tried to press a little bit. And I knew when he would switch to southpaw, just the overhand left was coming. And so I dipped, let him feint to there, and I knew just to throw my head off, and his head was going to veer to my right, and it just landed flush. Wasn't worried about a knee. He doesn't really kick from southpaw, kicks from orthodox, so I had him pretty timed, you know what I mean? I was just waiting for the fight to present. I was wanting to do a little bit more stuff, but I'm happy with the victory, and he's a hard dude to look good against. I didn't get hit in there. I felt great. I felt like I did the game plan, stuck to it, and just happy with the result. Thank you.
Cody, congrats on the win. Great job tonight. When you look at the division, who do you see as your main challenge? Who's the guy in the division you look to and say he is the guy?
It's the old Cody. That's it. It's me versus me always. If the old Cody comes back, fuck, he's a scary dude. You know what I mean? Cody 2.0 is here, and I just got to keep bettering myself inside my profession, outside my profession, doing the right things in life, making the right decisions, and everything else falls into place. So I don't fear any man. I fear myself.
And when you look at it, if you're able to get the title back at some point this year, early next year,
win I do.
You got the specter of the guy you lost to, T.J. Dillashaw, coming back next year. Would that be a fight that you would want just because of what happened, the history between you, the fact you lost, not the personal history, but the two fights that you had? Would that mean something to you to be able to beat him in a third fight?
We're talking about TJ, who's still suspended. He's not even there, but that's a fight I would like to get back. You know what I mean? We all knew what he was on. We all knew what he was doing. It took so many times, for him to skate by USADA. Unfortunately, But, he's serving his sentence. He's going to always have to live with that the rest of his life. He has a child that he has, eyes on him that knows that his dad was a cheater. The whole world looked up to him, a lot of young kids. It's sad. I kind of feel bad for the guy. He has no confidence that he has to use those kind of aids to be a fighter. But we'll see. You know what I mean? I'm going to be at the World Championship. I'm going to be at the top. So if he works his way back up there, open doors. Let's get it.
And last one for me, do you see any of yourself in O'Malley, a cocky guy that, he had the big knockout tonight and he seems to be on the fast track. When you look back to when you were that age, you see any parallels there?
No parallels. I was 25 years a world champion. He's 25. I was 11-0 world champion. He has not fought anybody in the top 15. How many people did I fight in the top 15? Under 2 years in the UFC, I became a world champion. That's a fast track. I was fighting the best, am the best, will be the best. No comparison. But I will say I like his style. I like his little flashy hair. It's cool for the division. So keep doing his thing. Keep getting those wins. We'll see you at the top, buddy.
Cody, you said you and everybody knew that Dillashaw was on EPO. Do you mean that knowing beforehand or just after the fact?
I don't really want to get into that. Yeah, it's kind of ship has sailed. I feel like that was a big burden. A lot of us, like the kid grew up in the Team Alpha Male Tutledge, so it is what it is. That's behind us. He's serving his sentence. You know what I mean, for his wrongdoings, knowing that he was doing it. Karma always comes to those who are doing bad things. So he got his karma. He's serving his sentence, and I'm here. I'm in the winner's circle. I have a big knockout. That's what we're going to talk about.
Do you think the EPO is a problem in the division? And
man, I just wish USADA would, be more testful. You know what I mean? Urine samples. We do urine samples, but are you doing blood? I haven't got a knock on my door for blood forever. You know what I mean? How do you detect EPO? Let's do more invasive. If we're going to go all in on this and we want to be a leading standard in, natural athletes, drug-free athletes, we're going to preach that. Let's do that. Let's have those come. I don't mind. Wake me up at 7 a.m., stick a needle in my arm, make me piss. Doesn't matter. If it makes it clean, I'll do it. But I don't know when the last time I had a phlebotomist come and jab a needle in my arm for USADA to test us. How easy is it to get over a drug test? I don't know. I don't need to cheat. Never will have to cheat. But if you're going to eliminate it, make it more strict, more invasive.
Cody, you mentioned that you fell out of love with the sport. Can you take me to the moment when you found the spark again?
It was leaving the comforts of my home, being in New Jersey, missing my son, leaving all my friends behind, gaining new friends. I'm so thankful for Coach Henry, Frankie Edgar, Eddie Alvarez, Ricardo Almeida, for them guys to let me go there, get out of my comfort zone, to see if I really love this sport, if I could be away from my son, if I could be away from the comforts of my home, the comforts of my bed, to get myself out of bed when I'm beat down, sore, tired, and just to the grind. Then I knew that I still have the passion and the hunger to do this in the sport, for allowing me to come back and forth, both teams, you know what I mean, to get work with both guys, East Coast to West Coast. That's really when I found the spark back. That's when I really knew that I had love for this sport, to go 3,000 miles away from my son, missing his, sacrificing a lot. I know we sacrifice a lot in this sport, you know what I mean? I'm not up here to say a lot of people sacrifice a lot in life, but for me to sacrifice and know that that's what I needed to do to get the love back for it, to know that I really loved it, to be away from my son. I was away from 2 months, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have a father growing up, so I didn't want to miss out on anything. It was the hardest time of my life to do that, but, it was great to be able to, go work with Coach Henry, Coach Ricardo, come back, work with Malat, work with Holdsworth and the guys. So I'm just thankful, man. I'm just thankful that my passion is reignited, and that's when the spark flew, knowing that getting yourself up at 6 in the morning to go drive over to Coach Mark Henry's house and do 10 rounds of pad work, and then go to Ricardo's after a long week of training with new guys that are trying to kill you, and then you go back home and there's new guys that are still trying to kill you back home. So it's awesome, man. I'm just so happy that the passion's burning again.
All right. We are, transports tonight were Clark and Formiga. Bonuses tonight were all performance. No fight of the night. We got O'Malley, Sterling, Garbrandt, and Perez. They all won $50,000. Congratulations. And who's first?
Dana. Amanda Nunes obviously had a pretty thorough performance tonight. Curious just kind of what you thought about Amanda's performance and what you do with her next when she's just seemingly on this higher tier than anybody right now.
Yeah, no, this card was awesome. And it was a good night. How do you guys like watching fights in the Apex? Great, right? It's actually fun and looks great on TV. Really happy with it. And Amanda Nunes, I told you guys many times, is the GOAT. Tonight she put on a clean. You saw everything tonight. You saw power punches. She set the tempo, set the pace of the fight, did what she wanted when she wanted to do it. Kicks to the legs, kicks to the body, kicks to the head, takedowns, takedown defense, elbows. I mean, just everything that you could see in an MMA fight, she put out there tonight. It was a bad night to be in a tent, huh? Yeah, she looked good. And then when you think about opponents, we think back to Anderson Silva, John Jones, and many others that, you know, we were sitting here having the same conversation. Who's next? There's always somebody next.
Great night for the bantamweights, of course. You said going in you were looking at Sandhagen and Aljamain as a number one contender fight. Obviously, Aljamain looked impressive. Is he getting his title shot now?
That Matt Serra Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, yeah. Well, you guys know what the next fight is, but yeah, he'll get the shot after that.
Nice. Is there any thought at all? I mean, although Jan keeping it together, some people were saying maybe that was so impressive you might break that fight up.
I think that fight's done.
Nice. Report this morning that Fight Island is Abu Dhabi. Are you able to confirm? I know you've been keeping that under wraps, but are you able to confirm if it is Abu Dhabi?
I will announce next week, and I will show you pictures, and I will give you a lot more information.
Fantastic. Couple quick ones. Conor McGregor took to social media just a little bit ago and said he's retiring. Curious if he spoke to you, if you guys knew something like this was in the works. He says he's done.
So I'll remind everybody that we're in a pandemic. The world is a crazy place right now with all these things that are going on. And, you know, I think that everybody feels this right now. There's no fans, can't travel the fights around. You know, I think everybody is pissed off, confused. You know, been locked up in their houses for 3.5 months. People are wearing masks. People are, you know, there's protests, there's riots. The list goes on and on. And I don't know. I don't, listen, if you don't think that what I'm doing right now is probably the hardest thing that I've ever done, and if you don't think that his numbers are correct. Here's the thing about Masvidal. We just signed a new deal with Masvidal. Masvidal just signed a new 8-fight deal. He's got 7 fights left on his deal, you know? And my people were working with him and trying to get a deal done with him when he already has a deal. John Jones has like 7 fights left on his deal. He just signed a new deal less than a year ago. So guys, you can say whatever you want about it. I have a deal. We just did a deal with both guys. This isn't one of those scenarios where like they've got some 3-year-old deal and it's like, oh man, that was 3 years ago. I'm in a much different place. This was months ago.
Dana, Jim Greashauber, cage side seat. Just a question about leading from the front. You know, I was talking to Dave Lockett earlier about you guys are leading from the front in the sports world. You're the first to do it. You're the only ones doing it. You're taking a lot of shots doing it. But you're succeeding in so many ways. Can you talk about that mentality to lead from the front? You're vulnerable, people taking shots at you, but you're also leading that charge and giving people what they need in a lot of ways right now in a tough world that we live in.
Well, thank you, sir. I don't know if that was a question or a compliment, but I appreciate it.
Want your statement on that, what it feels like to be leading from the front. You know, the bullets are coming at you, but you're also leading the way.
It's a catch-22. It feels great, and it's a fucking nightmare at the same time. Let's put it that way. So I'll tell you, I said it 2 minutes ago, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. And I was here when we bought this thing, and this thing was dead, and we had to literally get people interested in it. So to tell you that this is the hardest thing I've ever done, that's a hell of a statement.
And you still get up every morning with that same piss and vinegar that you've always had from day one?
I do, yeah. I don't know how much of this shit I got left in me, man, but I'm still doing it, yeah.
Hey, Dana. Is it time to do Valentina versus Amanda again?
For the 3rd time?
No.
Amanda won twice?
No interest in that at all?
No, I don't think that's the right fight for Valentina. First of all, and if you look at Amanda, she's the queen of 2 divisions right now, 35, right, and 45. And I think what you'd see before that is a couple more wins from Weili, and that fight happening before you would see the Amanda fight again.
I don't know if you saw Dan Le Batard declined your offer of $250,000, said that's too low, and he's going to come at you with a counter on it.
Let me tell you what, the last thing anybody wants to see is 2 50-year-old idiots fighting, okay? One thing that we've all learned from the fight business is nothing good comes out of 50-year-olds fighting. Except there's a shitload of people who love to see me get knocked out, and there's even more people that would love to see Dan Le Batard get knocked out. So this isn't a negotiation. I put up 250. What's he putting up? We're negotiating? You said you want to fight me for charity. I said, okay, I'll put up $250,000. We'll do it. You're lowballing me like all your fighters, and there will be a negotiation. No, idiot. There won't be any negotiation. You want to fight? Let's fight. We'll do it.
Did you see Jorge Masvidal offered to train him?
Yeah, I did. He's out of work, so makes sense.
Just going back to the Conor thing, you said that you're not surprised anything can happen right now. But did you hear from him personally about that, or was that?
No, that one of my people grabbed me and showed it to me on social media. But that's Conor. You know how Conor works. That's how he does things. But listen, Conor. There's been a handful of people that have made this thing really fun for me, and Conor's one of those guys. You know, and I said the other day to somebody, you know, when you look at the star power that Conor McGregor, the star that he became, he introduced this thing globally to people in places that had never seen it before or been interested in it. And, you know, every star that we've ever had has contributed a piece to building the sport and building this brand. Conor's been fun, it's been awesome, and he's got, I heard some information today, which is funny that it was today. It's because of this deal that I'm working on. But Proper 12 whiskey has sold an obscene amount of liquor, you know? And I don't know what his financial situation is with that thing, but I would imagine he owns a good piece of it. Conor McGregor's not going to need any money anytime soon, you know? He loves the fight, he's passionate about it, and He's got an incredible fighter IQ, but whatever his reason is, when a guy said, you know my feelings on retirement. When you say you want to retire, don't worry about it. You do your thing, man. And it's all good.
Thanks, Dana.
Dana, I want to congratulate you on a fantastic event, my first one in person.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Good to see you as well. And let's start with Amanda. I know you've spoken about it a little bit already, but the question is, who is next for her? Obviously, motherhood is going to come first, possibly, before she fights again. But now she's actually fought and made history. You said it's not going to be Shevchenko. That doesn't make sense again. Are there any names that spring to mind or that she's even mentioned?
Not off the top of my head. You know how I am. There's so much stuff going on right now. That's the last thing that I'm thinking about. And she looked so good tonight. I'm just focused on that performance and her fight. But she's at number 8 right now, right? 3 more and she ties Anderson Silva. A few more after that and she ties John Jones. So it's going to depend on how high she wants to set this bar and how much longer she wants to keep fighting. Because she, too, has made enough money where she can retire if she wanted to.
And Felicia Spencer tonight, I mean, she showed incredible toughness. I think we all agree with that. And the commentators, as per a couple of weeks ago, were talking about should someone have thrown in the towel, should the ref at any point have stopped it. Were you worried for her at any point, or you're just sort of praising the toughness of Felicia?
Yeah, no, listen, that woman is one of the toughest human beings that I have ever seen in my life. I actually was praying somebody was going to stop that fight before the start of the 5th round. And you know, she's tough. She's tough, and you can't take anything away from her going 5 rounds with the best to ever do it.
And the bantamweights were on fire tonight. Obviously, Aljamain Sterling, Cody Garbrandt, and then Sugar Sean O'Malley as well. You've said this is a kid we should look out for. What do you got to say about his performance?
Garbrandt's knockout was incredible. The timing, the speed, you know, the time left on the clock. Everything about that made that one of the best knockouts I've ever seen in my career. And Sugar Sean O'Malley fought a real guy tonight, a real veteran of the sport, a guy that you know, was a really big test for him. And he passed that test with flying colors. So I'm excited for what's next for him too.
So Aljamain will fight the winner of Aldo and Yan. That's obviously
correct.
Going to be, what, in a month or so's time?
Yeah, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
So,
Fight Island, though.
So how much longer before?
So July.
July. So
those guys will fight in July.
He gets his shot, because obviously they then need to
Who?
rest off Aljamain.
Oh, I have no idea.
No idea.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to ask you about the welterweight division as well. I know you've addressed Masvidal and wanting more money on that kind of stuff, but I want to focus on the title fight, Usman. You said it could be Burns, but we had Leon Edwards on our show at BT Sport tonight saying that he's been in some talks that he could in fact get that next title shot. So who's the front runner?
We'll see what happens.
Ooh, not giving anything away.
Nope.
But what are the divisions that excite you the most right now? Because obviously we've talked about bantamweights tonight, the welterweight division. There's a lot of moving parts as well. They seem to be the front runners.
Of
the
what?
division that excites you the most right now, where they seem to have the most?
Oh, God. I mean, all these divisions right now. The 170-pound division tonight. You know, we're talking about hopefully getting this thing done this summer for Stipe and Cormier 3, which is a fight that I'm excited to see. You know, a lot of fun stuff. And I'm excited to see Whaley fight again.
Thanks, Dana. Great to talk to you.
Thank you.
Hey, Dana. Just to go into, you know, O'Malley tonight even said he wanted more money and he was not happy. And so when you're looking at, you know, Connor and Jones and Masvidal and all this, not one individual, but just collectively, does that do anything to the brand when you have all these people and all these notable names making those kind of comments?
Yeah, we've been here many times before. This isn't the first rodeo.
With one guy, not
like no, that's not true.
One time, right?
Not true. We've been here before. This has happened to us before, more than once too.
Why do you think it's popping up at this time? Like, what is causing it right now?
How the hell do I know?
Well, I mean, you're talking to the guy, so I assume you would.
I'm not talking to him. I have no idea why this is going on.
And then
So you want me to tell you why this is going on right now?
Well,
I love you. You know I love you, but that is a really stupid question.
No, it's not a stupid.
Such a stupid question.
You know what you're talking.
We're in a fucking pandemic, and the world is going crazy right now. And all these guys are like, "Well, I want more money too. I want more money." But let me tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to predict the future here. Most of the media in this country is going to get laid off in the next several months. And that's going to be and everybody wants more money. And nobody wants to get laid off. And all these crazy things are going on in this world right now. Nothing is normal right now. Everything is crazy. And I am the only guy that is pulling off sporting events right now.
Right.
I
get that, but
but you're asking me a question. I don't fucking know. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the next fucking month with my business. I don't know. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I'm doing what I can do to keep the bus on the fucking highway here, or the train on the tracks, or whatever you want to call it. I don't give a fuck. If people don't want to fight, you don't have to fight. If you're afraid of COVID-19, stay home. If you're fucking, whatever your deal is, you don't have to do it. I couldn't explain to you anything that's going on planet Earth right now. And neither can anybody else.
Did you, this thing from Connor seemingly out of, he's retired before, but had you seen this coming? Like, had you had any conversation with him that would indicate he might be planning to do something like this?
He's been wanting to fight. He's frustrated because he wants to fight. I'm sure that is a piece of it.
And the no fans, you can't have him fight? Is that essentially?
No. It's not that we can't have him fight, but who do you want to fight right now?
Okay.
You want to fight Ferguson? I mean, you want to fight, he had called out Masvidal. Okay. Who do you fight right now? And where do we fight Conor McGregor right now? Fight Island isn't even up and running till July. Mm-hmm. So if you look at all the problems to run a business like this, multiply it by a fucking million. Right. And that's where we are right now. And then and there's a lot of other shit that goes on behind the scenes right now that, it's a wacky time to be the first guy putting on live sports when a lot of fucking people who are nutty as hell didn't want you to.
You put on a show headlined by two women during a pandemic, and this wasn't Ronda Rousey versus Liz Carmouche, didn't get that kind of attention. But I understand that you were tracking fairly well on the show, right? So is Amanda become a draw herself, or do you think that it's just the fact that the sport has become, during the pandemic, the attraction?
Tonight was a very big night. The kids that are fighting right now, especially when you're a champion and you're reaping the pay-per-view benefits, are doing very well. This is the only game in town. And when I say that, I mean on the planet. And we're a global business. So, yeah, these kids that they get a piece of the pay-per-view are doing very well.
Mr. White, this is my first time back since the pandemic, so I haven't had a chance to ask you. When everything got crazy, it was, okay, this fight's happening, now it's not happening. Now it's going to happen at Apex. Next thing you know, Nevada says, we're not doing it. So Florida, you had success there. All of a sudden, Nevada had a change of tune. What exactly happened there to allow them to bring you all back?
Well, I wouldn't say that they changed their tune. Things started opening up again, you can drive down the street and go to the casino right now, play cards, go to a bar, go to a restaurant. It all started to open up again. But again, it was all part of being first. We were first. So there was a lot of pressure on us being first to pull everything off the right way because nobody knew what the right way was. So I'm telling you guys, if I could tell you guys, you wouldn't fucking believe it. You wouldn't believe it. But we're doing it. It's going. It's moving. We're working. We're doing it.
One of the biggest, I guess, positive takeaways that we can get from this whole pandemic is that in every industry, and especially like you said, we're blazing a new trail. We're learning that we can do things that we didn't know that we could do them that way, and it's going to change how we do business in the future, I think. When you brought us here to the Apex the first time, you talked about putting on a lot of fights here, and this pandemic kind of forced that hand in a way.
Yeah, this isn't what I had planned, but yeah, it worked out. It definitely worked out.
So yeah, going forward,
one of the questions that you're asking about these other sports, it's 100% safe for these other sports to go right now, but they can't go. They can't go because I don't sit up here and cry about the financial side of this. That's not your problem. It's not the fighter's problem. All these other sports are trying to negotiate deals with their athletes right now to take less money, right? Because what happens is you're going into these, let's say this isn't true, but I'm just saying, I'm using an example. The Denver Broncos, okay? The Denver Broncos are like, wait a minute, we're going to put on an event that's going to go on TV, but we lose our live gate, our attendance, right? We lose concessions and we lose parking. It's a massive number to these teams, right? It's like college football. You're going to put on a college football game where some of these teams sell 125,000 tickets to a game. Some do 80, 90,000 tickets to a game. That's why they're not starting. That's why they're not going, because the financial burden is tough. I haven't taken a dollar from one employee or one athlete. I haven't asked anybody to renegotiate their contracts. So,
Well, and just one thing I'll say, and I'm not just saying this because you're in front of me. It's genuine. The general public doesn't really get to see behind the scenes, and I will tell you, I'm very impressed with the standards you guys have in place. I see all the hard work that you and your staff have done, and it doesn't go unnoticed. I know you've been pretty frustrated, and you vocalized that a few days ago about some of the people who are, the detractors and the naysayers. You guys are doing great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It means a lot.
You've taken a tremendous amount of backlash just to try to run your business since trying to get back into this. But you mentioned that you have so many people gunning for you. Could you elaborate on that? Is it politicians, regulatory bodies? What?
Name it. Name it. All the nuts are out. They're all fucking coming after us, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Name it, and they've come.
What would you say is the number one, besides the pandemic in general, the number one thing that's been the toughest hurdle for you?
Being first. You know why none of those other leagues could be first? Because they couldn't handle the bullets. The PGA was going to go, I think that weekend when everything shut down, and they got annihilated. They couldn't take the pressure that they were getting. And then once that all starts to go, it just starts to pile up, and you just have the nuttiest of the nuts coming after you. And it takes a certain type of person to stay in there and keep going. And we're like I said earlier, we're 5 fights in, and it's still crazy, man. Still crazy, and a lot of people did not want this to happen. A lot of people did not want this to happen.
Why do you think that is?
It's like, that's what, like Kevin trying to ask me, why is this going on? Why are these people doing this? I can't tell you why. I think that's part of the thing too right now. A lot of people are confused. A lot of people are angry and scared, and whatever their thing is. There's a lot of that going on right now. And believe me, I hate to be Mr. Negative, but I don't even think I don't think the worst is still yet to come. The worst is still yet to come. You're going to see a lot more people in this country getting laid off. If you just look at the financial situation, being off for 3.5 months, right? And you look at the stock market, and you're like, how the fuck does that make sense, right? There's going to be a huge domino effect. It's going to start with layoffs, bankruptcies, then it's going to hit the real estate, and God knows what else. And this COVID shit, who the hell knows what's going to go on with that thing? And so these are, you see these commercials. These are very uncertain times. Yeah, you think? Who knows, man? I'm just fucking digging in. I haven't laid off any of my people. I'm trying to take care of all my people, including the fighters, keep them working. And, I'm doing everything in my power to do what I can do. And anybody that, listen, you guys have known me for a long time. Anybody that doesn't want to roll with me, get the fuck off the bus. Get out of here. See you later. Do whatever you want to do. Nobody is making anybody do anything.
When you have these fighters lining up saying, we need more money, we're not getting paid enough, and yet you're trying to get the next show on, and the next show, where in the priority are they when you're just trying to keep the doors open?
Well, the priorities are the guys who want to fight. They're the priorities. So the guys who want to fight, we'll keep them fighting. And These guys can make a... There are more eyeballs on these kids right now than ever in the history of the business, ever. We are at an all-time peaking high right now with numbers, with people watching right now. And you guys have to feel it with the traffic. I mean, we do this show at Laura Sanko, right? In the back, she's live. And it was the last one, I think. She pulled 7 million viewers. Fucking thing we're doing on the back on social media. She's pulling 7 million viewers on that thing. Everything we're doing right now is at an all-time high. And so these kids that want to fight, I'll make them money and I'll keep them busy.
You were very complimentary when you went to Jacksonville, and now, I don't know if you've kept up, but it seems like a lot of these leagues will be going there.
They should.
Have they reached out? Because obviously they have to do exactly what you've done in terms of bringing in the players, the coaches, the media. They have to test them. So they're going to try to copy you in July. Have they reached out?
Yeah, we had several leagues reach out to us, and we shared we had tons of businesses and everybody, because we had a plan not only for the athletes and the sport and the media and everybody else, but we had a plan for opening the offices too. So we've shared that with anybody that's wanted to look at it.
What was the key about Florida? Because again, they looked at California, Nevada. What was it? Were they just helpful? Were they?
They were willing to work with us and make it happen. The way that you make something safe is you have your local government work with you and figure out solutions to the problems. Hiding in your house is not a solution for 4 or 5 months, you know? And I get the whole flatten the curve. I stayed home. I did it too. How long are you going to stay home? How far are you going to let your business just collapse and your employees get laid off and make no money? None of that makes sense to me. I knew I could do this, so I did it.
You said it's 100% safe. Again, when you had the first fight, you had one fighter test positive, and I think there was some concern. Since then,
nothing is 100% safe. My car ride home tonight's going to be very dangerous. You know what I mean? Nothing is 100% safe. But we've done everything we can do it within our power to try to control this thing as much as it's humanly possible.
In the back, Dana.
Hi.
Hi there. So tonight, Devin Clark took a knee before his fight with Menifield, whose father was killed by the LAPD. And then earlier this week, we had the NFL issue a statement about the protest. And it kind of ties back together because that's where the kneeling started. What was your feeling watching the other leagues respond to the protests around the country and the world? And in light of some of your fighters speaking up, is the UFC prepared to make a statement, or have you talked about it at all?
About what? I don't understand the question. I don't understand what you're asking me.
Yeah, so the NFL has made it.
I haven't seen anything that they've done. I haven't watched any of the other leagues. I don't look at what everybody else is doing. I do what we do. And our guys were, Israel Adesanya was very involved in his country. John Jones was out there doing his thing. Other African American fighters for the UFC called me and asked me for advice, and I gave them the best advice that I could give them. But I would, as far as, I don't know if you're asking me about social media and stuff like that, but I said the other day I would never tell. Like I said, everybody is dealing with all this madness that's going on in the world right now in different ways, and everybody's going to handle it differently. And I would never try to tell somebody how to express themselves, whether it's fear, anger, whatever it might be. And the beautiful thing about America is everybody can, and however they want to. So I would never do that.
No, my question wasn't if you were watching what the athletes were saying. My question is, was the UFC, were you all considering making a statement as an organization?
About what?
About the protests, or about the reason why the athletes were kneeling in other organizations?
I don't even know how to
Yeah.
answer that question.
So it's a no. Okay, it's a no. And then finally, you said no one wants to see two 50-year-olds fighting.
Yeah.
But I see Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield looking like they want to scrap. Who you got in that fight?
I don't know. What I would like to do is take them both out to dinner and say, hey, let's not fight. Mike Tyson I talked to, and Tyson told me, I can't explain it to you. I'm a fighter, and I always will be till the day I die, and I feel it in my gut, and I want to do it. And he's a grown man, and he can do whatever he wants. So I said, you know, Mike, I love you, buddy, and yeah, I support you. I'll be good luck, and I'll watch it. And you know, Tyson's still explosive. He's still fast, and we all know who Evander Holyfield is. I mean, that guy is a stone cold warrior to the core. So. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win that fight. And they're actually not 50. They're older than me. They're like 7 or 8 years older than me. So, yeah, I wish them both luck. No? All right, you guys. Good night.
Amanda, congratulations. You have made history tonight. Not only do you hold both of those belts, but you've defended both titles as well. Just put into words what that means to you.
I can't. I'm so happy and proud of myself, of my coach, my team. I'm so happy.
Look, your coaches just carried you in and placed you on the chair. What injury or pain are you feeling right now?
The same injuries always. You know, I like to kick a lot. The first couple ones, the first round, she's check and I kick her knee. From that moment, my shin was like really like, ow. But I was be able to kick more through the fights, and right now I didn't even can stand on it.
The adrenaline must have been pumping. You disguised it well. Look, you always not only like to beat people at their own game, but test yourselves, continue to make history. And tonight you said afterwards you wanted to go the 5 rounds, and you did show us, again, you've improved and improved even more. Why was it so important for you to do that and potentially go the distance?
Yeah, I know. I want to do that. I want to go to 5 rounds with the most tough girl. And tonight I prove it. I know Felisa is the toughest girl in this division, you know? And I know she's going to handle, you know, exactly what she did it tonight. And I just want to prove it. You know, I can go to 6 rounds and not only 5 anymore, you know, and laugh, enjoy being there. So tonight was amazing, amazing. Everything that we work on, me and my coach, I was be able to put in there, you know? And that was making me laugh, you know? Not because like I was hurting her. It was because I was be able to put it together, everything we training. You know, every fighter want to do that. Like I want to train and I want to be able to put in there. And a lot of people can't. And this is frustrating. But tonight, like always, and it always is going to be. Because from here to the next, I'm going to grow, you know. I'm going to go through the roof. I'm going to go to the top of the mountain. Like I'm going to go to the moon. Honestly, I'm going to go to NASA now.
We don't doubt it. And when you talk about that, a lot of people are always asking, well, what's next? And Dana White said, well, he doesn't know what's next for you. And, you know, you're the best person to answer that question. You know, yeah. What do you do next?
I didn't even know either. Tonight is a beautiful night. I enjoy, you know, what I did. I cannot name nobody here because they all know here, you know. This is my night, my moment, you know. I feel like I should really, like, enjoy. That's it. And be happy forever. I make history tonight. Guys, like, nobody ever did that before. Like, that is amazing. Like, incredible. Like, I have to watch the fight again and just enjoy because I knew, you know, something in my life, something big is gonna happen, but like, sometimes, like, I'm surprised, you know, like, how big it is. More big than we, like, thought. But I was ready for. Every single thing come out, I was ready. And me and my coach, like, what are me without those guys, So I have a couple moments in the fight when she connected a punch, say like, so she's not gonna knock me out. I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna put my hand down and go for. And my coach yelled at me like, no, don't do that. Put your hands up. Go back. Don't do that. So, you have to have somebody like that. Your coach have to be ready for everything. Really the fighter. Especially me, like I'm aggressive. I have to have somebody to bring me back. Sometimes I'm a lioness. I don't care. I'm going. And then my coach like, Epa, no, don't do that. And tonight they was amazing tonight. I don't know if you guys heard them. They was like incredible.
And what was it like fighting to defend your title in an empty arena? Something you've not experienced a fight of this magnitude with that environment. What did that feel?
It was cool. I heard my corner, That was amazing. But of course we miss the fans, We miss all the crazy, all the things. But I was very smooth the whole week. And that is making me happy. Because, like, it's not that I don't like it, but I still, like, have to, like, get used to media, fans, all those things. It's still hard for me to do all those things. Travel all the time, like, but I get it a lot better, So this week was perfect. I was in the hotel, do nothing, just, like, chill, and was very smooth. But of course, we miss the fans.
And last question from me. What was it you said to Felicia afterwards? You gave her your belt, and you said some words between the two of you. What did you say?
I lost before. I know like how she feeling, I give it because like she can at least like feeling the belt. I know she didn't get it, but she can feel it a little bit. She fight for the belt tonight, and at least she can have like touch and see. I just want to be nice to her. Like she's a good girl. She gave me a present for Reagan, like in the weigh-ins. That was pretty cool, very cute. And I think she's awesome, tough girl. And yeah, I'm like very honored to share the cage with her tonight.
You're amazing, Amanda, and thank you everything you do for this sport.
Amanda, you hit her with some very big shots in there. Were you disappointed at all that you weren't able to finish her? Did you think that you were going to be able to get the knockout?
No, actually, I'm not disappointed. I did everything that I was supposed to. I want to hang in that with 5 rounds, and I did it tonight. And like I proved like I'm better. I was better in everywhere. And I have some fun tonight for sure.
I was going to ask you because it looked like in the beginning you were avoiding the grappling, try to keep it standing up, and by the end of the fight you were engaging in the grappling and taking her down. So was that the game plan, or did you just kind of want to
This is the strategy right there. You have to have a strategy. You cannot go, I'm going to take her down, I'm going to go for. No, I have to feel my opponent first. And when I felt, when she come to clinch me, I saw she's not always that strong, And from that moment, now I can use my wrestling. Now I can go to the ground. But I have to feel my opponent. I cannot go forward without know what is she capable of. And what's the strategy, Everything have to be like in the time, in the right moment, in the right time, like my coach tell me.
And obviously you have a lot of options because you're the champion of 2 divisions. But help us understand your schedule. We know you've got a family, growing this year. So how do you see the rest of the year playing out? We know we don't have an opponent yet, but like a date? I mean, is there a time that you think you'll be ready to come back to fight?
Yeah, break for sure. Like I have to see what is going on with my legs. I always get hurt with this leg. I don't know what is going on. And I have my baby's coming. In 3 months, she's going to be here. I have to organize a lot of things. Her room is like, I have to do so many things. And I really need a break right now.
You think you'd fight again before the end of the year, or do you think maybe off for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I think it's maybe off for sure. I have to do a couple things and be ready for my baby.
Amanda, Jim Greasehaber, cage side seat. I know when I had kids, I didn't have them, but you know what I mean. When I became a dad, I had to give up everything for the kids' room. So with all these belts and now the baby coming, do the belts get put away because the baby's room needs the space, or how do you work that out?
The belts stay in the living room, and we have plenty of space for the baby, for the belt, and I just need to organize her room and everything. So we have a lot of presents already. We didn't even have a place to put it. And yeah, I'm very excited. But I have plenty space for everybody, you know?
Winning will do that, especially in a time like this. And Dana was talking about how you guys are the only sport going and everybody's doing really well. Numbers look awesome tonight. You're on top of the world. I mean, you're in that conversation not only as the greatest female fighter of all time, but in the conversation as the greatest fighter of all time. You have the baby coming, your marriage, everything in life. You're always smiling,
Perfect.
you're always happy.
Perfect
but
life.
could it be any better for you right now?
Yeah, perfect. Like, just like live this fun ride and enjoy every single day, you know. Be a good person. The life will give you back, you know. I feel like now, and like always, the life is going to give me back because I don't want to do anything bad for nobody, you know. I just want to keep making history and do my thing, you know. I have my family, my baby.
How much more history is there to make? You're running out of people to fight.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm very excited to see my next step, too. Thank you.
Amanda?
Oi,
Fazer em português, tá?
faça.
Amanda, o Dana White comentou, muito se fala, né? Quem seria a próxima, enfim. Parece que é difícil achar um próximo nome. E ele mencionou que você está numa posição que fez ele lembrar o Anderson Silva e John Jones no ápice dos dois. Parece que limpou a categoria, é sempre difícil achar mais alguém, mas no final ele falou, sempre há mais alguém. Como você vê essa comparação feita pelo Dana White e quem seria esse alguém?
Legal, fico muito feliz, né? Estou provando que eu sou a melhor, né? Que não só os homens podem fazer história, como a mulher também, eu, né? Então, assim, não sei, não tenho nome ainda, eu tenho que sentar, tenho que voltar para academia, conversar com meus coaches e ver o que é que vai ser possível. Quem está aí no ranking, não sei ainda, mas não estou pensando agora, nisso agora. Eu tenho que voltar, descansar um pouco, aproveitar um pouquinho, e daí a gente vê mais para frente. Com certeza, o UFC vai fazer, as meninas, vai fazer mais lutas aí, entendeu? Já vai aparecer um nome, e aí a gente tem muita coisa aí.
Certo. Sobre a luta em específico, ela recebeu, se olhar no Fight Metrics, você vai ver uma quantidade absurda, muito maior de golpes do que você recebeu. Te surpreendeu a resistência dela? Porque não só ela absorvia, como ela nunca se entregou, né? Ela não parecia se entregar, sempre estava ativa, embora muito pior na luta. Te surpreendeu essa resistência?
Não me surpreendeu. Eu sabia que a Felícia era uma atleta muito dura, né? E eu falei a semana inteira, essa menina é dura, não pense que essa menina é fraca, não. E ela provou hoje, entendeu? E eu precisava dos 5 rounds, velho. Eu precisava, entendeu? Tinha momentos ali que eu poderia entrar, eu poderia ir lá, várias vezes que eu botei ela para baixo, eu poderia entrar e poderia ter finalizado a luta. Mas meus coaches também falando para mim, deixa ela levantar, pô, a gente está bem em cima. A gente não precisa ir ficar lá no chão. E os fãs gostam disso, né? Os fãs gostam de ver ação. E eu acho que o strike é uma grande parte dessa coisa toda dos fãs, né? Mas eu provei que eu sou melhor que ela hoje em tudo. No wrestling, no jiu-jitsu, eu quase finalizo ela, pô. Se me desse mais uns minutinhos, eu tinha finalizado, né? Mas, assim, a menina dura pra caramba. Ela tem um pontapé muito bom e tem um Superman elbow muito bom. Então, eu tava meio que avoid, né? Tipo, eu tava ali para chegar pertinho, para não tomar o contragolpe, né? Coisa que ela é muito boa. Então, eu tinha que estar atenta ali, tinha que ficar tranquila e finalizar a luta. A gente queria, não só eu como meus coaches também, a gente queria esses 5 rounds para provar, para acabar com essa história que a Amanda não pode ir não chega nos 5 rounds. Eu chego até 6 agora, até 10 se quiser. Mas hoje foi 5 e eu fiz muito bem.
Foi bom tirar esse alívio aí agora, provando que faz 5 rounds tranquilamente?
Pô, eu já tinha feito, né? Mas é porque você sabe, o povo vai falar de qualquer jeito. Não tem segredo. Você ganhando ou perdendo, sempre vai ter alguma coisinha ali que não deu certo.
Última pergunta para mim. Você mencionou que talvez tire um tempo indeterminado, sem data para voltar, até porque sua filha vai nascer. Você pode falar um pouco sobre isso? Quanto tempo você quer ficar longe? Como é que está o planejamento do nascimento da sua filha? Essa nova etapa? Como é que você analisa esse ano? Né? Quais são os planos para esse ano como um todo? Talvez você não lute esse ano, é isso?
Agora a atenção é toda para Nina, né? Foi toda para mim, ela grávida, e lá junto comigo ali, fazendo toda a presença, mesmo grávida, com toda a dificuldade, né, da gravidez, sendo que ela tá bem pra caramba, viu? Não tá mal, não. Tá fazendo manopla, tá tudo correndo. E assim, eu preciso de um tempo. A gente precisa organizar as coisas em casa, não tem nada pronto para a criança ainda, então a gente realmente precisa de um tempo para organizar tudo. E depois vem o nascimento também, a gente precisa daquele tempo para se organizar também. Pô, marinheiro de primeira viagem precisa de um tempo. Provavelmente aí só ano que vem.
Amanda, right down here to your left. Hey, I don't know what else to say, champ, besides congratulations on
Thank you.
just another amazing performance, title defense, and, of course, making history like we knew you would. You talked earlier about just being able to see everything and do everything, execute exactly, and I watched it, and I mean, I'm telling you, everything you did was, I've never seen you look physically so just on point. And you talked about being able to hear the coaches. You think being in the Apex made a huge difference?
Yes, was good for me. And the small cage helped me a lot too, because I was be able to put my takedowns together, see everything very closely. Because the big cage is like you take time to do, you know, you have to set up more, you have to like put her in the right place and take a lot of time. In the small cage, you'll be able to put it right away, and you'll be able to do the things. So that helped me too, and be able to listen to my coach tonight was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, not just the combos. Like, you landed combos that made me go, wow, she is super tough, because you should be putting her away with some of these shots. And every time you sprawl, it was just right on point. Everything.
Yeah, I know she's very tough. You know, I know. And fights never is going to be like walking in, knock people out and get out. You're going to find those people, you know. This is MMA. When people step in that cage, they all ready to go, you know. But tonight I'm very happy to be able to go to 5 rounds with her. And I dominated, you know. I dominated everything. She was tough, but she knows be able to handle. Like, she knows be able to show up, you know. I dominated the whole thing in everywhere. And I'm happy about it.
Yeah, for me, like I said, that was the biggest surprise. Like, what was the biggest surprise to you? Was there anything in her game whatsoever that felt that could be threatening or that you stayed away from? Or once you felt that you were dominating, did you just basically feel in total control? Because it looked it.
I always think about it, two things. Was the kick and the Superman elbow. She had very good. She opened cyborg with that technique. And I was like, I have to be aware for that. But when I saw she don't have the right time, because the way I move is something different nobody see before. When every single opponent step in front of me, they see I really move like nobody ever moved before. So I feel like she have a hard time to figure out the kicks, the other techniques, and I pick her apart.
And one more. And then, yeah, so we saw the dominance in every fashion, especially the striking. In the scarce opportunities that she had to play jiu-jitsu, how was her jiu-jitsu game? Did you see anything, like, really impressive there, or just pretty easy for you?
Honestly, I know she's black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. I know I'm better than her on the ground. I prove it tonight. I mount. I did whatever I want. You know, I almost submit to her. You know, and I feel like she tried. You know, I feel like she tried, but I always do everything so perfect, block everything, and I don't think she expected that. I thought she might thought her jiu-jitsu was better than mine, but I know I was surprised with her jiu-jitsu. I know I was be able to like really handle and I feel like tonight I really like did it amazing even in the ground.
Well, congratulations
Thank you.
again, and blessings to you and your family.
Thank you.
Amanda, somebody down the street tonight bet $1 million on you to win $160,000.
Dana told me.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Awesome. He, now he's very happy. He probably like go and drink something. He should have asked me to go with him.
Also, like, you are a big favorite in this fight. You're a big favorite against any opponent that they could put in front of you. How much pressure, I guess, does that make you feel that you're always going to be expected to win fairly convincingly, no matter who they put in there with?
No pressure because I was the other way around one day, and I handle very well. Now, honestly, I just enjoy this ride. It's not to pressure me because I be involved. My coach is very smart. Every time we have a fight coming up, every time I go to the gym just to work out, we always training smart. And this is making me who I am today, in the top of the mountain. I did something tonight and nobody ever did it before in the sport, in the MMA history. I'm the best guy. I'm the greatest. Look at this. Nobody did it before. That is incredible. I'm very happy, and I can't wait to see my daughter.
And that's the last thing for me. Is motherhood the biggest challenge that you could have right now?
What? Say it again?
Is motherhood maybe tougher than any opponent you could even face right now? Is that the toughest challenge?
No. Actually, I'm very happy, excited for this moment. I never think I would be, but honestly, like, I'm going to take, like, maybe, like, this rest of the years off just to think about my daughter. I'm very excited. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Aqui, né? Aqui mesmo. Peraí. Good? Awesome. Thank you. Esse boné meu?